What is your reaction then to the results of the votes last night?
Look, we voted to leave. We backed it up in a general election. 500 MPs voted for Article 50, which said we leave on the 29th of March with or without a deal. And now we have a big majority in Parliament not to leave on March the 29th. And I think, you know, Keith, your interviewee, who was from the Remain camp, whether you'll remain or leave, we just want the government to get on with this, end this agony that we're going through, and let's get on with the rest of our lives. And to me, the only logical thing we can now do is to leave on March the 29th with no deal, because her deal has failed twice.
But the Prime Minister she's doing her best to get her deal through, isn't she?
And she would say the logical way to get Brexit, in fact, if we delay, there's a danger that Brexit won't happen, the logical way to get Brexit is to go for her deal.
Well, the trouble with her deal, and by the way, it's not a deal, it's a new European treaty. You know, I've read that treaty, I've studied it. In many ways, it's even worse than being a member of the European Union in terms of us being bound in to European rules, possibly in perpetuity. And, you know, the next phase of negotiations, and I met Mr Barnier earlier this week, the next phase of negotiations could take another 4 years. I don't think we want to go through that process. This deal's the wrong deal. The Prime Minister has made an horrendous mess of it, so let's just leave, let's have a clean break in a few days' time and get on with things.
But the Parliament's voted against no deal. All the economic analysis says no deal will be disastrous. You still want no deal because you want something to happen to take us towards Brexit. And you're right, it does look like it might not be able to happen now. I think everybody that voted for it will be fearful of that this morning. But being practical and thinking of those whose jobs and lives depend on it, everything that we looked at looks like no deal will be disastrous.
Look, we were told if we didn't join the euro, it'd be a disaster. We were told if we voted Brexit, 500,000 jobs would go immediately. The opposite has happened. This is not about some economic forecast, some doom-mongering. This is a democratic choice of the British people in the biggest democratic exercise in our history. We want to become an independent country, free of being governed by Mr Juncker and Mr Tusk and all of these people, and Parliament is not delivering on its promises. That really is the crux of this problem. Right,
well, the plan is now to get an extension to ensure the fact that they can do that, to try and sort out a deal. You're not helping, though, are you? You've campaigned, you know, for European leaders to refuse any extension, and is it true that you'll now be speaking to them and saying that you think that they should stop the extension happening? That's an act of sabotage, isn't it?
Well, I don't want 4 more years of agony, and there are many other European countries who would rather we just got on with this. And come on, I am trying to honour the way the British people voted in a referendum, in a general election, and a promise that a Prime Minister made over 100 times to the British people. I want us to leave on March the 29th, and I think that European summit that takes place next Thursday, you know, it could be a very dramatic evening. But if other countries say, we don't want to go on with this, we just want Britain to leave, then I think they'd be doing us the most enormous favour.
So you're saying get out at any cost. Are you saying that you will be speaking to European leaders to ask them to refuse an extension?
Well, I'm going to speak to other European leaders to say, look, do you really want 4 more years of this agony, which is Mr Barnier's proposal? I'm not sure I've got much influence over them, but please don't think, just because a British Prime Minister turns up in Brussels next Thursday and asks for extension, it's not guaranteed, I promise you.